Replacing motherboards, some tips and tricks. First off, the motherboard is the largest circuit board in the computer. It is going to take the most effort probably to replace, and so we want to eliminate other possibilities first, like power, for instance. Okay, don't assume the motherboard is bad before checking the power supply to make sure that you're getting adequate power to the machine, and you might even have to look at the source. Try to plug a light. I used to try to plug a lamp or something, a clock, into the power source, the electrical outlet, as opposed to trying to measure voltage coming out of that, which is dangerous. So you try to do that first, and then, even try, if you've got a backup power supply, try to replace the power supply and see if that's going to do it. CPU problems, memory problems, power supply problems, those can all be significant enough so as to not allow the PC to start at all. So you really want to try to eliminate those because they're easier than the motherboard. Definitely when you are disconnecting everything, you want to keep track of cables, pins, and screws, specifically the front panel pins, sound cards, things like that. But even the power supply, connections to the motherboard, just make sure. And in fact, it's probably a real good idea. This is what I've done, is just take a picture. If you're not sure, take a picture. Don't apply too much force. Too much force is never good when dealing with computer systems. Some things do take a little bit of pressure to connect, like a RAM chip into the slot. However, you sort of have to learn this as you go. There is such a thing as too much force. And so if you feel like you're pushing way too hard, you probably are, and you're probably going to break something. Make sure the motherboard's not touching the chassis. That's bad news. Just think of electrical lines touching metal. That's never going to be a good thing. Always use anti-static gear when handling computer parts. Now, whether that gets done in real life or not, that's completely up to you. You're often on your own, in a basement, in a workshop or something, trying to replace these things. If you don't want to use an anti-static gear, nobody's going to force you to do so. The exam is going to expect that everybody who's touching the inside of a computer is always going to be using anti-static gear. And then extra care needs to be taken with slimline PCs. The smaller the form factor, the smaller the motherboard. The slimline PCs, these micro PCs, often have things kind of folded over on top of one another, like drive casings and things of that nature. So you just need to make sure you understand how you got it apart so you can get it back together.